There. Now, away from that, Chairman of the Parliament's Subsidiary Legislation Committee, Mahama Ayariga, has written to the Minister of State in charge of Tertiary Education, Professor Kwesi Yankah, demanding an immediate halt in the charging of unapproved fees by the country's public universities. He says the country's laws require the various public universities, including KNUST and University of Ghana, to submit their proposed fees to Parliament for approval. But that hasn't happened since 1992. Mr. Ayariga is demanding that the minister take steps to rectify this or face a court action. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo has more.
Mr. Ayariga, in his two-page letter, claimed the imposition of fees on students without prior approval of Parliament is contrary to the law. He says, with the exception of the World Polytechnic, all other tertiary institutions are in breach, and is asking that urgent steps are taken to rectify this to avoid an embarrassing litigation.
They must come to Parliament for approval. That gives parliamentarians the opportunity to scrutinize the amount being charged and also to get to appreciate the justification for charging that amount, because the public is already financing the institution by paying the salaries of lecturers and by providing the infrastructure.
He is also claiming that per Article 25(1) of the Constitution, the state must work towards a system that makes higher education free. He is demanding that the minister present a clear framework similar to what has been the case with free SHS.
The Constitution also insists that we should arrange to provide progressively free tertiary education. And there has not been any clear indication by all governments of a program to provide for a progressively free tertiary education system.
Mr. Ayariga also claims the practice of fee paying and non-fee paying in the admission systems at various tertiary institutions is unconstitutional, as it is discriminatory and reprehensible. He says this must end. Mr. Ayariga claims Parliament established GET Fund to largely finance tertiary education through the provision of infrastructure, as well as bursaries, scholarships and loans to students in public and private tertiary institutions. He says this entitlement of students must be respected.
If you analyze the expenditure pattern for several years now, you find out that the tertiary sector hasn't been really given the priority that it deserves under the Act.
Mr. Ayariga laments that some of these demands eventually become burdens on parliamentarians and is calling for a bipartisan discussion with critical stakeholders to resolve the issues, or he would head to court to enforce the demands as economic and social rights.